I literally just called it out. I just called it out. That's my
point, is you're inviting him back, giving him the air.
What more do you want me to do?
This has to be one of the greatest meltdowns I've ever witnessed during a political debate, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Katie Miller, the wife of Stephen Miller, is apparently just as insane as he is. Katie Miller used to work for Elon Musk at Doge, then went on to work for Elon Musk at XAI. Now she started her own podcast. For some reason, I guess that's because everyone does. But this is where we get to this incredible debate. So I got a few clips to show. This debate had a meltdown, humiliation, humor, a disgusting moment that is actually making headlines, and even Piers Morgan got angry. So we'll get to that later. But here is the first clip. A lot of this debate surrounded around Zohran Mamdani for some reason. But of course, the debate gets to where you expect it to get to. Here is the first clip.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that
nobody
he wants to make
Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back and go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Is Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long, all day long. There's no special protection
because
for
what you're doing is you're decoding language
that
to
calls themselves
American
a Jewish state or a Muslim state.
And to say that we should not be here and we should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other people like Mamdani to use it.
I want Israel to be safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
So as you can see, Cenk Uygur was absolutely on fire during this debate. You're going to see in the next clip how Katie Miller construes that line about a Miller lying. It is just amazing. My jaw was on the floor during this debate whenever she spoke because I could not believe the kinds of defenses, the kinds of arguments that she was making because they were so obvious bullshit. But this gets to why this debate is even happening at all. Why does every single debate about Zohran Mamdani have to be about Israel? It's absolutely ridiculous. This is a guy who's running to be mayor of New York City. It's only because he's a Muslim who acknowledges the genocide that Israel has committed that somehow has become this big deal when even human rights organizations within Israel acknowledge the genocide. So it's got to the point now where they're even trying to construe facts that he has stated as somehow being offensive or crazy. Like this is the recent big blow up that is happening on the right wing, where they're freaking out about this clip, where Zohran said, quote, "We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force." The reality is that is fact. Amnesty International article here from 2016. With whom are many U.S. police departments training? With a chronic human rights violator, Israel. So Baltimore law enforcement officials, along with hundreds of others from Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, Arizona, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Georgia, Washington State, as well as other D.C. Capitol Police have all traveled to Israel for training. Thousands of others have received training from Israeli officials here in the U.S. He stated a actual fact, and people freak out about, oh my God, it's so offensive. Why are you offended at facts? Facts don't care about your feelings. Let me get to the next clip where this line about the Millers is apparently the most offensive thing ever.
Katie.
No, Piers, quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your children into this? What a weirdo.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not
hang on.
speaking.
Casey, to be clear, Casey, to be clear,
he inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish? Come on, Piers, where are you?
What?
Where are you standing?
God, you're so
Katie,
pathetic.
One of the more absolute insane things I have ever seen said in a debate. A comment about the Millers lying, which is clearly directed at her and her husband. Nope, it's about Jewish people. What are you talking about? I had to look this up. I wasn't aware that Miller is a common Jewish last name, but it's also a common last name among people who aren't Jewish. That comment that Jack made was clearly about her and her husband. But everything that she takes throughout this debate is a personal attack, because she has no actual arguments to make. Cenk and Omar Baddar here, I'm going to play in a second, run circles around her. And she has absolutely no way to retort in any sort of rational, argumentative way. It's all personal attacks for her. This is the same person who called Karine Jean-Pierre a DEI hire who was picked based on her skin color. So saying that someone is hired because they're black is not offensive, apparently. But saying that you're a liar like the Millers because your husband is a well-known piece of crap, that apparently is very offensive. Insane stuff. But here is the next clip. This is political analyst Omar Baddar, who also comes back with a great argument here against Katie Miller.
Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews, that is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposedly criticizing the left for, that you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force in American society. That is not an attack on Jews. That is no reference to his identity.
How we got here was Jillian very perfectly pointed out that we should not use identity politics to get here. And immediately we went to the state of Israel. Attack.
No, I'm sorry. The state of Israel is not identity politics. That is a foreign government that is engaged in genocide and war crimes. And we're allowed to criticize that without you pulling identity politics into this. It is utterly unrelated.
Omar Baddar doing a great job there, just being rational, being normal in a debate, making a solid argument. Katie Miller, once again, no idea what to do. We're going to get to, okay, the next clip is incredible because even Piers Morgan gets annoyed with Katie Miller here. And then it gets into a moment where I gotta say, it's absolutely hilarious.
Piers, this is my last time on this program. If you're going to invite open anti-Semitics to participate on your platform and not call it out for what it is, which is anti-Semitism,
I literally just called it out. I just called it out.
My point is you're inviting him back, giving him the air.
What more do you want me to do?
Spew his hatred toward people like myself, toward people like my children, toward people like my family, and again, not debate the merits of the argument.
No one said your family. What kind of lunatic are you?
In the last segment with Rep. Randy Fine, what you said was he had said the word Muslim. He never once said the word Muslim. You immediately turn it to identity politics,
yes, he did.
which are completely more than identity politics.
He did say the word Muslim. He did say Muslim. He did. I heard him. He did say it.
What you're doing.
That has to be one of the top most humiliating moments I've ever seen in a Piers Morgan debate at the very least. I'm going to play the clip of Randy Fine, who was interviewed in the middle of this debate. Piers Morgan does this thing where he holds interviews in the middle of debates when the panel is still sitting there. They all have to sit there and wait and watch this other discussion go on before they get back to their own debate. It's very bizarre. But let me play for you Katie Miller back to back with Randy Fine.
What you said was he had said the word Muslim. He never once said the word Muslim.
The reason we need a Jewish state of Israel is because of the Muslims that surround it.
Not sure why Katie Miller would bring up something that she claims didn't happen when it just literally happened minutes earlier. But this gets to why I almost feel bad for her, because I feel like she's not in her right mind. This is somebody that I actually believe that she believes what she's saying. I don't really think she's lying. I think she lives in this made-up world where everything to her, any sort of criticism against an argument that she has made is a personal attack, where she doesn't hear things that happened, where she hears things that didn't happen. Like, it's just, she lives in this fairy tale land that doesn't appear to be going very well for her. So I don't know. But this, like, Randy Fine, to claim that Randy Fine, out of all people, doesn't attack Muslims, like, you don't even need to see that debate. You can just go to his massive history. Trump backs staunchly anti-Muslim Florida lawmaker. This guy is a well-known anti-Muslim. Fine often proclaims that the U.S. has a Muslim problem. In 2021, when told by a social media user that Palestinians were being forced out of their homes by Israel, he responded with a hashtag blow them up, which he never was forced to apologize for, or there was never any sort of repercussions from the party. His broader record includes saying, quote, Gaza must be destroyed, calling a fellow member of Congress a Muslim terrorist, telling Palestinians to eat rockets by posting hashtags like bombs away and starve away, mocking a dead Palestinian child with quite well, actually, thanks for the pic, telling a Muslim constituent to go blow yourself up, referring to a Palestinian kafia as a terrorist rag during a public hearing. It goes on and on and on with this guy. To claim that Randy Fine, of all people, I mean, he was even too offensive for Ron DeSantis. Quote, he repels people. DeSantis tears into Fine after Florida's special election underperformance. When Ron DeSantis has the moral high ground over you, something's wrong. Here is the last clip. So this is the clip that is making the rounds, has made headlines. It happened somewhere in the middle of this mess of a debate, but it's really worth pointing out here because of how disgusting it is.
Hold on. So
You better
what
check your
happened in the
citizenship
Holocaust and
application
all
and
the
hope
pogroms
everything was
and
legally
all the
and correct.
pogroms were
You'll be
disgusting.
just like Ilhan
That
Omar
doesn't
coming
mean
in.
that Israel.
So no, you did not mishear that. Katie Miller, the wife of immigration czar Stephen Miller, did in fact threaten to revoke Cenk's citizenship. So there was a lot of talking over in that clip, but the actual quote there, you better check your citizenship application and hope that everything was legal and correct. And this is someone that actually has power because she's losing a debate, because she has no actual arguments to make. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos I have on this channel.